All right, so we're back. Greatness is Awaiting the podcast. Marcus Watts. I'm here with Jeff Evans. We're gonna dig some more into it and try to drop you guys some more knowledge. So, I guess, man, let's just get into talking about the CrossFit Games, man. The experience, like, you know, all the hype around it. You know what that was like for you. I already said, you know, it was a new thing for you. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just tell us all about it, man.
All right. So yeah, made the games after regionals, and definitely one of the greatest moments in my life because I worked so hard to get there.
Set that goal. Now you
and I've got there. Now I really want to compete because you got top 48 guys in the world, I think it was, and these guys don't mess around. And I'm one of the few rookies that are there.
Right.
So you know these guys are bringing it. So I get there, and first event is
swim.
The long swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because I only practiced swimming a few times and more in the pool because I was hoping it was going to be a pool event.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. The ocean was a whole different ball game for me because you got to know how to navigate the water, how to breathe, how to float, which I had no idea how to do.
Now the year before, it wasn't the pool, right?
Yep. Right. So I got super excited. The pool, I was doing fine.
Right.
You know, 25, I could take a break, 25.
Nice.
So I find out it's an ocean swim, and I'm like freaking out the whole time, just panicking. So I think it was the day before we had the swim, I went down, me, Telena, Fortunato, and Lauren Brooks went down, did a little swim. They're both killing it. I'm 30 seconds and break, 30 seconds. I'm like, oh my God. I text CJ, and he's like, dude, we got a problem. We got a problem. So, yeah, long story short, I almost died a couple times, almost drowned a couple times.
Wow.
I told him, do not pull me out of water because if you got taken out, you're done.
Right.
So I can say I risked my life to compete in the CrossFit Games. I literally almost drowned. Like I would sink underwater and just do a big pull, take a deep breath,
what do you
try
think
to swim.
At that time? And again, like, you're a ferocious. I mean, and to play college football, to play receiver, I mean, you were slot.
Wide out.
Yeah. So I mean, you're cracked back in. I mean,
all that.
Tough guy. Mm-hmm. What mindset did you have, and just what was going through your head at that time, man?
So
all this training, and now you're like, I mean,
freaking
literally
out.
hit a brick wall. You know what I mean?
So it was a cool thing. I seen a video from Jason Khalipa. He talked about perceived confidence and earned confidence. And before it, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna crush this event. I got this. Just relax and do your thing and this and that. Got in there and freaked out. Waves big as hell. I'm swimming up, going down, just all over the place. But after I finished, I earned that confidence that I know I can get back in there. I risked my life, and it took me on a whole nother level that how bad I want it.
Right.
But as far as getting through it, it was just a mindset of like, I will not quit.
Yeah.
And I was so happy I did because that night I went into the overhead squat and ended up with a 4th place.
Yeah, I remember when you bounced back. We're so happy for
and
you.
It just shows like that receiver mindset. You drop a pass, you got to forget about it. Next play. It's that next play mentality. It's over, it's done with, move to the next one. Just keep it going.
Yeah, and you know, Jeff's not saying, hey, you know, you have to, in order to be able to, you know, feel like you've earned something, you have to risk your life. But in that situation, you know, that's what it felt like for you.
Yeah.
You know, and just like we talked about before, that because you put in that work, because you fought through that, you didn't make excuses. Now you felt, you know what? I have the right to be here. Like I have the right to continue to, you know, demand excellence of myself and just keep going. And you did. What did you get in the overhead squat event?
I hit a 275 and got beat by 3 people by 1 and 2 pounds. I hated that because they've never done that since I've been doing CrossFit, but whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I finished with a 4th place, and I was in the first heat going.
Yeah.
So I didn't have too much time to warm up and anything.
Right.
But like I said, just that next play mentality, like go out there and go hard every event, regardless of what happens.
Yeah. So I mean, so many times, you know, I see people just getting down on themselves. You know, they're in a competition. What would you say? Maybe 3 keys are: I'm dealing with obstacles. I'm in my competition. I've hit that brick wall. That water feels like it's closing in on me. I'm trying to push back to the top. What 3 things would you say? All right, this is what you could do to kind of help yourself get back into the game?
I would say the thing that helps me the most, I mean, it's hard to relate to other people that haven't played football.
Right.
Because my mindset is always, like I said, the next play is, it's hard to relate to anything else because I'm so used to blanking stuff out. Like, if I get a no rep, I don't even look at the judge or complain. I just keep going until he yells done.
That's wasted energy.
Yeah.
Right? Wasted
just
time,
like,
wasted energy.
Get it done and learn from it. I use everything as a learning experience.
Right.
So whether it's the game's a final event
Right.
or every day in practice,
Yeah.
I'm going to use that as a learning experience to get better for the next time.
Man, patience.
Yeah.
It's such a, it really is a virtue. You know, playing, high school football, playing high school basketball, college basketball, going on as a pro. I remember, I would be in situations where I'm, in the Midwest somewhere hanging out with friends and I get a call and they're like, hey, we got a job opening for you, New Zealand. Can you leave tomorrow? Yeah, I can. Hopping on a plane, flying, 18, 20 hours, and knowing that, hey, when I step off this plane, that I've got to be ready to perform well.
Yep.
I mean, if you don't, what are you going to do? You know what I mean? What's going to happen? Having tough games and like that just next play mentality. I feel like so many times people are stuck on, what they're not able to do or what they didn't do instead of saying, you know what, like, I'm going to go into it. You know what, I'm going to just stay positive and just get after the next play. Let's talk about a little bit about the mental toughness side. So, like, hey, I'm going to deal with these obstacles, or I am dealing with these obstacles, or just going into competition. Maybe even it's just training. Can you talk a little bit about the mentality side of trying to become a champion? I mean, even just a champion in your own eyes. You know what I'm saying? For as good as you feel like you can be, you're starting to find out where that is. Just talk a little bit about mental toughness because I'm a huge proponent of it every day, man.
I feel like you build yourself the most in training. When you go out into a game, it should be easy because you know your body, you know how to clean and jerk, you know how to do everything your body will let you do. So I feel like that's where you need to be mentally tough.
But it's the week of competition, Jeff. Can I get better? Can I get better this week?
I mean, your body's gonna do what you've been training to do,
Yeah.
So my mindset is bust my ass in the gym when it's time for game time. That's where I know my body, I know how it works, I'm gonna just do what I do.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people don't attack normal training days like that. I work out by myself a lot, and I feel like it's better for me because I can get into my head and push myself in a way nobody else can. If I'm worried about you beating me, I'm gonna just try to beat you and not learn anything. And to me, I see it all the time. Even in my classes when I teach, they're just trying to beat each other and
any way to get an advantage so I can beat you instead of finding where my weaknesses are.
Then you get to a point where your technique falls apart. You're trying to rush your pace. Like all these things make a huge difference if you don't, and you're not learning your body. You just black out and go type thing. I always have a plan in my head for how I attack things, but if I'm feeling good, I'm gonna keep it going. If I'm feeling bad, I'm gonna stop and take more breaks. I'm always constantly learning.
Right.
And that's what's gotten me ahead so far. And like in college, we watch film all the time. And I would watch film of Rich Froning and Jason Khalipa, all these dudes about my size and strength, and learn from them. So I applied it in the gym, all their techniques and this and that. And I think that's what put me ahead, being mentally tough and using my background. But yeah, like I said, a lot of people skip out on that learning aspect and the mental toughness side of it as far as pushing yourself and not worry about anything else.
Yeah, definitely. Over at Lawless, we're the same way. We try to tell people, listen, one, of course, you never want to sacrifice technique for speed.
Yeah.
Never. It doesn't matter what it is. Second, you got to find your pace and identify your weaknesses. Just like you said, listen, if you're doing a workout and you're out of breath, you can't breathe, you need to slow down your pace.
You're going
it
to go
doesn't matter
slower.
how fast the person next to you is going or how much they're lifting. You got to do what's best for you. And if you do that, again, you're learning. You're learning what your pace is. So now, you know what? In training, I need to be working maybe about 2 or 3%. You know what I mean? There was an equation I saw of like, it was people that are looking for, huge gains, getting 50%, they want to get 100% better like in a year versus getting like 0.3% better over like the next 3 years. And you'll be drastically improved. Something like, it's like 1,000%. It was something ridiculous. I can't remember the actual statistic and how the equation went, but it was a great way to look at it that each day, all right, I'm gonna get a little bit better. You know what I mean? A little bit better. I'm gonna do what's best for me, and then in the end, you're gonna get there. So, somebody has if you have a really tough workout, all right, somebody has a really tough workout, what are you doing mentally? All right, the workout is over. The swim is over, right? So mentally, what are you saying to yourself to help you? You said that you'll just kind of move on. You know what I mean? Next shot, next play mentality. How did you build that? Because that's a hard thing to do. I talk to people about it all the time, and I'm like, you just got to forget about it. They're like, I can't do that. I'm like, number one, you're saying you can't, so you're not going to be able to. Right? But how can you explain from your side building the mentality of next play, next workout, I'm going to be successful? So
I'm big on why waste energy on something you can't control. The workout's done. What can you do about it?
This is so elementary, but this
is so
Yeah.
So I'm big on that. It's years and years and years of practicing.
It's a good point, though, man.
Every ball I drop, I would have to forget about it. If I drop the next one, I keep dropping them until I catch it.
Yeah.
And then it gets to a point where you want to be perfect in everything you do, so I'm going to catch every ball. And if I drop one, I forget about it, and I'm going to catch the next one. I'm going to catch the next one. I'm going to catch the next one. And it's just routine. After a while, it's a habit. That's all you're creating, a great habit for you.
A habit of like excellence and expecting more, man. I'll say from my side, it's the same thing. And equating, I remember my first competition, so I'm a coach. I've never competed before. And a bunch of my athletes are all doing this competition too. And I'm talking to Lauren Brooks, and I was like, well, what do I do? It's muscle ups and pistols, and I'm not exactly the best at either one. And I was like, but I want to set an example for my athletes that you should push yourself and put yourself out there. And she was like, I think that you should do it. So I remember the first workout was like, it was like some hand cleans or power cleans, and it was like 6 or 8 alternating pistols, and it was like 10 alternating pistols and like 6 or 8 ring muscle ups. And I got through like one round, and it was like a 9-minute AMRAP, and I could not get off like 2 muscle ups. The whole time, everybody's just like, it's just a huge just up and down. But you know what? I was challenging myself, and mentally, you know what I mean? I was like, when that workout was over, I said, you know what? The next workout though are deadlifts and burpee box jumps at 30 inches. And I'm just gonna go in and give all I have in this workout. And you know what's funny? I think people they're worried about what people are gonna think. And what people are gonna say. Versus, hey, listen, I'm just gonna go do what I can. If somebody does, I don't care. But most times, nobody cares. It's just kind of in your head. People just getting, like you said,
like you want to press everybody.
Yeah, you're getting inside your head in a positive manner, like, I'm gonna move on, I'm gonna be successful. And you can do the same thing. Have you ever experienced a little bit of that yourself, or with your athletes here? Actually,
this year has been tough for me because I'm focusing more on the gym right now, where I was. But I didn't even make regionals this year. I went through the open, and in the back of my head, I knew I wasn't ready. Because my training was off, my recovery was off.
That's a great point,
my eating was, iffy. Now it's on point. I'm definitely gonna be ready for next year, but it was tough. Like, I'm going week after week trying to stay motivated and set an example for my athletes, all the people that watch me, and just show them like I'm gonna still go hard whether I'm ready or not. And then take it as a learning experience. I know what I can and can't do. I know how to prioritize my time, and it made me a better person by not making it. And it made me realize there are more important things than making it to regionals and games. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I have a lot of stuff coming up in the future, which is exciting. So it's definitely a good thing to put yourself out there.
I think you said a couple things there, because the first thing that stuck out to me was, in the back of your head, you knew. You knew that you hadn't been eating right. You knew, that the training, that things were just off compared to last year. As an athlete, well, I'm not getting this. Well, how's your rest been? How's your nutrition been?
Yeah, it's
like, how's your stress level at your job?
super important.
Yeah, if you're not prepared. If you're doing those things that are conducive to you being successful. And a lot of times, honestly, I think people just aren't honest with themselves, and then it leads to this huge letdown. If you're doing the right things, and you know who to go to for those things. A lot of times it's just, do we have the time, or are we going to make the time?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But it's a great way to deal with it. So, with not making regionals, you knew you had all these things going on. Again, like, how did you because literally people were talking and they're like, I can't believe Jeff. And I'm like, you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
You don't know. I mean, we don't know what's going on in your life. You didn't hit that clean and jerk last week. You know what I mean? Like, so how did you, immediately I saw you get that laser beam focus. You started reanalyzing stuff. I know that you probably got with CJ like that next week. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And even in the open, we talked about how, you stopped enjoying, and
Yeah,
I guess we should touch
I
on
did.
that a little bit about, you stopped enjoying and you kind of lost the focus of that this, in the end, you want to, listen, the goal is to be the best.
Oh yeah.
But talk a little bit about that, having fun and enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah,
the
so
process.
I think it was the third workout during the open is when I've been doing a lot of like soul searching and reading some self-awareness books and things like that to just find out what I really want. And the third workout in the open is when I realized like I'm not having fun doing this anymore. I had a lot of stress outside of my CrossFit career, and it's affecting that, and I'm more focused on that stuff. And it definitely sucked at the time. It was at the point where I didn't even want to finish the open. But in my mind, I want to, set an example and go hard regardless, because I always love competing.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand what your real goals are. Like, what do you want to do in life, and make sure you set the time up for those things. That way you can make sure you're always enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's not fun competing, and like you hear a lot of games athletes saying that when it's not fun, I'm out.
It's not fun. Yeah.
And I agree with them.
Yeah.
When it's not fun, for me, I take a couple days of training off. Like, I have to get my mind right and make sure it's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I know I've heard stories from other games athletes I know personally, and they say the same thing. I got to take a break.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely crucial that people understand that. It's not, you're not going to be able to hammer out a perfect workout every day. And when you do have a bad workout, you get all super upset about it. Like, understand it, nothing's perfect, but make sure you're enjoying it, and like deep down inside you're enjoying it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I understand where you're coming from, because at the time, I played all over the world, South America, New Zealand, Europe, Portugal, Denmark, and I would even play back home, in the summers and stuff, in competitive tournaments all over. And people ask me why I stopped playing. I was only 27 at the time, 28 at the time, and I was just like, though athletically I felt like I could still play, to me, there were other things that I wanted to do, and now I'm getting to do those things.
Yeah.
I'm getting to affect, I'm not just going out and putting a ball into a basket, but I'm getting to really affect some people's lives. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting to enjoy. Yeah, I have a passion behind it. And basketball was fun, but it was never the end goal.
Yeah.
The goal was, to get involved in this and really get to grow and build something. And like, if you're not having that passion for something, man, like, why are you, why are you doing it?
You definitely have to ask yourself why. We actually had, in the Invictus camp, we do a big part of what's your why.
Yeah,
and
talk more about that, yeah.
For me, is super, like, why do I do CrossFit is, I feel like it's a platform where I can help a lot of people, whether it's fitness, just everyday conversation, just getting them through a tough time.
Wow, yeah.
When I was 13, I put this out on Facebook last year, right after regionals.
Inspiring story, man. Yeah.
And it just made me realize, well, the story was, when I was 13, I was super depressed because my parents are divorced, and I have a lot of brothers and sisters, and my mom worked 3-4 jobs at a time. My dad, he was super strict. He had, we lived a good life with him, but it was super strict, and I mean, that's the only way he knew, and I understand that, but at the time I was super depressed because I felt like no kid should have to go through what I went through, as far as stress. And at one point in my life, I tried to commit suicide, and it hits me every time, just realizing like what I went through and then what I'd be missing out on. But
all the lives you've affected, man.
Yeah.
Inspire everybody that's gonna be watching this,
Yeah, by that, me putting that story out, I got so much great feedback, and it's so cool to see I have a greater purpose in life than just being a CrossFit Games athlete. I have a lot of things going on. I plan on starting a online fitness group for people that are going through or have been through depression or suicide, and just have a safe place to come and talk to each other and hang out, that type of thing. I feel like we definitely need that in the fitness community, because you see CrossFit, bodybuilding, all this stuff, it's like you see all this muscle and think it's just strong and nobody has emotion. So I definitely want to be a part in that, like starting that up. But yeah, that's my why.
Wow. That's awesome, man. I feel like I need to go make sure I'm on top of my why after that, man. Yeah. But no, man, dude. I mean, I guess we'll just wrap it up, man. It's been awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate
for coming on and helping. Hopefully, especially with about all these competitions and stuff coming up that with Thunderdome this weekend. Hopefully, you guys are going to take some things away from Jeff, and people can really use it to not just expect themselves, to do well, but have a plan for how they're going to do it. So
definitely.
Take one thing away, dude. Anything else you got going on? Anything you want to plug or whatever, man?
I would say y'all have a good time. Enjoy this weekend. Go hard. Learn as much as you can about yourself and your teammates, and good luck.
Yeah. All right. So, what's your athlete page or your Facebook or? Plug that to your Insta. Throw it out there. IG.
Yeah. Instagram is Jeff_Evans_CF. Definitely hit me up on there. I got some big plans on a brand I'm trying to start. Is Max Effects Fitness, and it's MAXEFX fitness.com. I'm getting the website going now, and a lot of big things. Yeah, a lot of big things coming from that in the future. In November, the 13th.
Yeah, we can go ahead and plug that. Yeah.
14th, 15th is Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm doing a 2.5 day competition.
Yeah.
Game style points.
Right.
Friday it'd be 2 floater wads. Saturday you get 3 wads. Sunday you get 1, and then top 12, top 6 go to finals or semifinals and finals.
Yeah.
I'm paying out RX scaled and beginner first place, male and female.
Right.
And it'll be in-house at Iron Stable CrossFit.
I'm excited for that. We've been planning that for a while, and like nobody knew, so I'm excited to be emceeing for that one too.
Yeah, that's gonna be
MC skills going.
It's gonna be fun. Some fun programming. I like lifting heavy weights, so expect some barbell moves.
Yeah. So what are the dates, and what's that one called again?
Iron Throwdown is November 13th, 14th, 15th.
Awesome, man. Yeah. All right. So hey, go over to the Flexicus Facebook. Make sure that you guys give it a follow. Go visit flexicus.com. Like I said, you guys can hit me up on Instagram at @TheWattsGuy, and also my athlete page on Facebook, facebook.com/TheWattsGuy. And I've been saying it's been coming for like a year, but the website really is coming.
Yeah.
Right? TheWattsGuy.net. So you guys got some questions, post it to the comments. Give us a 5-star rating, and let us know what you think and what you want to hear. We got a lot of really good stuff playing. So we'll see you guys out at Thunderdome too.
It's early. And it's cold. The streets are still empty. You sweat while they sleep. And the city is your gym. You tear yourself apart because you know you can be better, faster, stronger. Flexicus strengthens your joints to give you the ultimate edge to push through the most brutal workouts so you can be the best. Flexicus.